I'm in nerd heaven right now. I could.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have to shut me up. That's not a thing I'm going to do.
I think everyone here is Marvel Comics Fantasy Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh my God, Hitchhiker's Guide. We haven't even talked about that. That's just like...
How could we do that?
That's just criminal, isn't it?
Oh my word.
I probably drop 18 little things every time I hand my kids something. Drink up, the world's about to end. And they're like, what? It's Hitchhiker's Guide. Just go with it. Oh, have you heard the radio scripts?
No.
It is imagine Hitchhiker's Guide, but they cram it into a condensed 12-episode radio show by BBC.
Oh,
I have it on audio tape. When I was 15, this is how I had my sleepovers. I had girlfriends come over and I assigned everybody a role. We had the radio scripts and we acted the whole thing.
That's amazing.
Oh man, there's got to be a recording of that somewhere.
There is. It's on
There's got to be
tape. But yeah, I have it. Yep, I was off the and I'm sorry, the line when David Tennant makes his appearance and they put a bathrobe over him and he goes, rather Arthur Dent of me. I'm like, yeah, that's right. One of my favorite Doctor Who lines. Rather Arthur Dent of me.
Love it.
So, and I just need to say, completely related to this, you know, the actor who played Arthur Dent in the Hitchhiker's Guide movie also was the Bilbo Baggins. That man cannot wear a bathrobe without shit hitting the fan. I just need to say, every time he wears a bathrobe, the world destroys. He goes on an adventure. It's like, stop wearing a bathrobe.
Freeman?
It glitched.
I said that the actor's name is Martin Freeman, I think.
Martin Freeman?
Yeah. Of The Office.
Yeah, he plays Watson. Yeah, he plays Watson.
He doesn't wear a bathrobe, does he? He wears
Sherlock.
a bathrobe.
He's an amazing actor.
Does he wear a bathrobe?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that, I don't know if he's ever worn a bathrobe in on Sherlock.
Probably not, because everything was calm. Nothing was like absolute catastrophic nuclear warhead going off.
The only kind of bathrobe-like type situation I remember from Sherlock is when he refused to put on clothes before being taken to Her Majesty's palace, and he was just wrapped in a bedsheet. That's
no, yes.
So
that
was.
They were doing that because if they didn't put him in a bathrobe, the palace would have blown up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it right there. No, that man cannot put on a bathrobe. It's like, no, nerd heaven is. I thrive off of it. Get my nerd on. How are you doing on time, Josh?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get off. I'm going to go help with all the kiddos.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can't leave her alone too long with all the girls.
Yeah, they've been quiet for 90 minutes. She's a miracle worker.
Ooh,
so
yeah. You're going to find her gnawing on her fingernails in the corner. Tugging the Robitussin.
I'll send you the bill for the Robitussin.
Okay. All right, have a good night.
Yeah,
all
lovely to meet you.
You too.
Right,
Nice
bye.
meeting you all.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. There's an off button here. I'm not.
Oh yeah, no, it's hidden. I have end meeting down here at the bottom, and like I said, I have time. So if you guys, it's up to you.
Well, if you're inviting me to talk more, I can do that. It's getting me to shut up. That might be a challenge.
I had no idea you were going to be here because I have email addresses, and
it was weird. Like I maybe cooked for the first time in a year.
Ooh.
But I got finished right when it was supposed to go down. So I'm like, well, I did it. I did cook.
Yeah.
I did. Maybe
I have to introduce you to these ladies. So I met Weech. I don't even know how I met him. We have a discussion group on Twitter that we created like 3 years ago. And it's basically a writers group where we get crazy, and we coined the phrase the HM is slush brain because we all have writer's head. And he got onto the ship. I'm not sure how, but
Cindy.
Okay, so Cindy brought him in, and we don't see him very often because he's off in writer's cave. Like, he lives in the writer's cave, and the only time he pops in is to tell us how many words he writes a day, which is just amazing. It puts you to shame because it's like, I just wrote 50,000 words today. Like, that was the ongoing joke. And Cindy's author name is C.L. Schneider, and he's got her beat with MLS Weech. So tell them what the MLS stands for.
Oh, MLS. Matthew is my first name. L is the initial of my last name, Leistokow. S is my mother's maiden name, Starbuck.
Starbuck.
And I didn't
wow,
want
that's
to.
amazing.
Wait, your mom's
Yeah,
maiden
no.
name is actually Starbuck.
My mom's maiden name is actually Starbuck. I'm not BSing anyone. And
This was
for
a thing.
for a long time I was like, oh, I'm using that. And then I was looking at the West Coast general and be like, oh, I want to mess with them guys. Which is weird because for me I'm like Starbuck, Battlestar Galactica. And everyone's like, you mean the coffee? I'm like,
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
You should have just gone Star-Lord with it.
No,
Talk about your anti-hero.
Yeah, no, I make up a lot of names for myself. No one ever goes with them.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have to ask, did you make it up that time? I can't remember. I have to go
Which
back.
one?
I don't know. You told us the meaning of MLS Weech, and I can't remember if it was Starbuck or if it was something else.
You can go back. It's my mom, Corrine Starbuck. My grandma just passed last month,
Mhm.
and she married Dale Starbuck in what was an epic love story. You guys want to hear the greatest love story of all time?
Yes, and I got
All right.
Go ahead.
So, it's about 82 years ago. I don't do math, so there you go. And this woman is walking down the road, and she's just minding her own business. And this guy walks by across the street. He just stops and complete 180 about face if you're in the military type. And he bolts across the road, kind of scoots around in one of the older model cars. And he starts walking behind her, and she looks back and walks a little faster, and he starts walking a little faster. And now in 1990, we think this is a different kind of movie, but nah. He walks up, he catches her, and he spins around, he looks her in the eyeballs and says, hello, my name is Dale Starbuck, and I'm going to be the man you marry. That is how my grandfather introduced himself to my grandmother.
Wow.
See, today that would have involved
Mace.
Yeah,
Right.
there'd be some mace and what. I tried it once, I got slapped. Didn't work out for me at all.
Back then it was just completely. But I watched Hacksaw Ridge the other night, and Dawes' character says that he's going off to see the woman he's going to marry, and he's only seen her once. And in that setting, it's all romantic. But today it's like stalker. That's what they say about 50 Shades of Grey. If Grey wasn't a millionaire, this would be an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
that's so true.
Yeah.
It's an episode of Criminal Minds now.
Yeah, really.
I'm not a fan.
I have to ask Rosemary, because I have like a group of Doctor Whovians, and it's something completely different with the British. It really is. So I have to ask, do you watch it? How often, and how are you with the show?
Okay.
That's good.
So, I've loved some Doctors a lot more than others, and I've loved some series a lot more than others.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it every week when I was growing up, and I absolutely loved it as a teenager. And it
And
was
that's amazing. We don't have it here. It's new. And you had to really dig in the archives to get anything here with it. We did not grow up with it. We grew up with Lost in Space, which is just embarrassing.
we watched that every Sunday. That was over with us. I was watching that every Sunday. That was a Sunday show.
That's
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Star Trek was here, so we got Star Trek, and that was it. And you had to really dig. When the internet opened up, we were able to really dig into it. And honestly, a lot of people, 2005 is really, and even when we get into it, we find Tom Baker and on. It took me over 8 different media formats.
Sylvester McCoy, I absolutely
Oh,
love.
Sylvester I
Amazing.
spent the entire 7th regeneration going, I just see a man with bird shit on his head. And then
He was so funny.
I watched The Hobbit, and I'm going, all I see is a man in the TARDIS. so I can honestly say, but have you seen him play the spoons? I mean, really, that man, just amazing.
But David Tennant, right? He's in my opinion, he's the best. Everyone has their
Smith
best.
gets no love.
But I think, but he's an amazing. I mean, he's an amazing theatre actor. He's one of the best drama actors,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean, he did it very differently. So some people are going to love it, some aren't. But I thought it was amazing, and I think they have been some of the best series.
I fell in love with Patrick Troughton. I fell hard for him. I loved him the first time I saw his stupid face and him refusing to change his clothes, even though they were 8 sizes too big. I loved that man. And when he regenerated into the Third Doctor, I did not cope well. I did not like it being anything other than black and white. I did not like anything. I wanted Patrick back. I spent all of John Pertwee and all of Tom Baker going, I want Patrick.
It does get kids and stuff used to change, I have to say.
Yeah, I really. And then when Matt came back, I was warned, Matt, you're going to have a problem with Matt Smith. I fell into Matt. I saw him, and I'm just like, it's like watching Patrick, Tom, John, and all of them crammed into one face. Like, really. And I think that's why he looks the way he looks. He's got 14 people smashed in that.
I would say Tenet has the greatest range. Tenet's series, Tenet's reign was so compelling. I can't begrudge anyone. But when Matt Smith won over Amelia Pond, he won me over. It was that easy.
Yeah. Sarah Jane. I'm sorry. We have to talk about her. I did not realize, I got introduced to her with John Pertwee, and then I saw, to this day, the one line that makes me cry is, really, tears, Sarah Jane? I'm going to cry. And it's when the Third Doctor regenerates to the fourth, and Sarah Jane is there holding him. And I'm just, really, it is still my favorite regeneration.
You got to send me these episodes, because all I really want to do is watch, like, the regeneration episodes, and I can't get any Doctor Who before Baker.
I started Doctor Who. I can tell you all my secrets. When I started Doctor Who, it was January of 2016. It took me a year. We watched every episode, every stupid, horrible episode. I watched the Zarbi. And I'll tell you, it was really hard we watched Marco Polo. And Tim's going to see this and he's going to die. I documented the entire journey. I went on YouTube. I did let's sit down and give you my impression of every single Doctor.
Wow.
I was right there. I recorded and journaled the entire experience for an entire year of Doctor Who. And so, and one of the things that Tim said, because, he in London, so he grew up with it, Tom Baker again. I think he got some John Pertwee there. So he grew up with it. And it is something different for English. For the British, it is it is your Star Trek. It is your pride. And we are absolutely piggybacking on this. And we are claiming it for ourselves in America. We absolutely are just as... I can't say we're just as passionate. But one of the things that you see here in America is, and this is disgusting to me, don't watch the classic Who's, start with 2005. It's disgusting. And that was why it took me so long to sit down and watch Who, is because I kept getting mixed reviews.
It's because Americans are so tied up in production value.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, and this was my deciding factor. When I started Star Trek, I didn't know where to begin. No one said, you know what, skip classic Star Trek. You just got to start with Generations. No one said that to me, because we have a respect for Spock, McCoy, and Kirk, even though the special effects were disgusting. But we did it. And I thought, if I can give Star Trek that same respect, I can pass that on to Doctor Who. So I went back to the beginning, and I watched every single episode. Just really, it is an experience. It is... like, really, it changes you. You become an addict, and then you don't sleep.
Have you seen the Sarah Jane Chronicles?
I have not watched any of the spin-offs yet.
I can't watch that. I'm not trying to cry in front of all these women right now. Don't do that to me.
I do not like John's character. Jack Harper. I do not like his character.
Really?
Yeah.
You say you haven't watched Torchwood?
No, not yet.
Oh my gosh.
No spin-offs yet. And
did you feel like Jack, that character, was just trying too hard?
I did not like the actor. I really don't. I love the face of Bo Twist.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was blow me away. I just did not. trying too hard. Honestly, the one time I really, really loved him is when they go to, I think, Station 5. I cannot remember. And they take off his clothes because they're going to remodel him. And he just stands there like nothing. Yes, ladies.
And then he pulls the pistol, and he points it at him like, where did you get that? And he's like, you don't want to know.
Yeah, no.
So Torchwood is completely different to Doctor Who. And it's a lot darker. And yeah, he's a really over-the-top character.
Yeah.
The other actors with him are very good. The latest series are better than the first series of it, but it's trying to do something really different. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of within the same universe, but it's just not got the same feel, but it's very good. Mm-hmm. But you kind of have to suffer through the first series a little bit till it finds its feet.
Yeah.
And you have to, I guess, if you can't stand him as a character, but also he does get better, but the people around him are very good.
Yeah.
I ran home. Mm-hmm. I ran home to my hometown where the sun is out all the time and it makes sense. And the sun rises in the day and sets at night. Tangent. I'm in Maryland now. It snowed like a week ago in March. But so I went home and like, hey, Mom, I'm going to show you Doctor Who. And so I'm going to go home. Usually my family, we pick a show we're going to binge. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, Doctor Who? I'm like, yeah. She wasn't into it. And then we get to Bowerman and she's like, oh, that's the guy from Torchwood. And I'm like, are you serious right now?
Yeah, Torchwood is massive, actually. Yeah. Torchwood is massive in the UK. Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, it's really, and I'll tell you, you guys do have like 10 people doing all your acting in one country. It's great. It's absolutely great, and I cannot remember that's not his first name, but James Corden.
James Corden, yeah.
Yes. I see him in Doctor Who now, and I swear every time I turn on BBC, he's there.
See, that's not in our country. That's the BBC. The BBC, if they like you, that's it. You're in everything.
Yeah, and there's only 10. There's only 10 people.
I would kill to see Patrick Stewart get a reign as the Doctor. That would.
Who?
Really,
I'm sorry?
Patrick Stewart.
Oh, yeah, I thought about him being, no, he would not. And it's, who, they got Doctor Strange, the guy who did that. I do not know the actor's name. And
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
And I don't know if
my husband likes to call him Eggs Benedict Cumberbun. I think
they called him up and said, hey, we got this role that you might be interested in, Doctor Strange. And he said, Doctor Who? Yeah, that too. And I don't know. I don't feel, who would be great with the role? Matt Smith.
Yeah, well, let's just bring him back.
I need to bring him back.
I would love to see the guy who played, I can't remember his name, but he played Moz in IT Crowd.
Okay,
oh my gosh, so
that
weird.
Guy.
That would be amazing.
Who I want to see as the Doctor, I have not seen it yet. Fantastical Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh yeah,
the main character.
He's a doctor.
Yeah, I saw him for a brief second on a preview and went, oh, "Is that the new Doctor?" Oh, it's a Harry Potter film. Okay, I can get into this.
So, like you said, it's a new Doctor.
It's like
that's the Doctor.
Robert Redman or something. Red is in his name somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel bad because they pick up Peter Capaldi, and when I saw they got him, I thought, "Oh, this is going to be awesome." The next 3 series of Doctor Who are going to be like straight horror.
Yeah.
And the creators were like, we wanted someone different from Matt Smith. But then in my opinion, I don't know what you think, Rosemary, but they didn't want to stop writing for Matt Smith. I'm like, why'd you let him go then?
Yeah. I mean, I love him as Peter as an actor because he was fantastic in the comedies that he's been in Britain. I don't know if any of you have seen them. He's been absolutely amazing. So different to Doctor Who, you can't even compare because most of the comedies he's in, you swear every other word. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that he can't change what he does. Of course not, if you're a great actor. But as you said, the part was just too similar. Yeah. And then he's playing it too similar, but he's a completely different actor.
Yep.
And so it didn't work. It wasn't made his own. And so
he never got a fair shot.
No, and I've struggled with it, and I thought, why am I struggling with it? He's an amazing actor. He's a phenomenal actor, so why am I struggling?
Yeah.
I also felt that every time he did something like when I saw the episode where he was trapped in the time device or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the will.
I said that was the most heroic episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. because he had to willingly do that over and over and over again. And then they just completely undercut it with the next episode. It's like, and they did that so much.
You know what I had a problem with that whole thing is I got the impression that he was doing it for Claire. And I'm just like, really?
Yeah, they ruined it.
Yeah,
because
really?
I got the impression like, oh, he's gonna get out of that thing, and then he's going to take down Kira Frey.
Yeah.
And so he gets out, and I thought, and here we go. And the next episode is going to be the Doctor just laying down law on Gallifrey.
And that was the experience. I remember the experience. I watched in 2005. Everyone was complaining about Christopher Eccleston, and I'm sorry, you get through the 6th Doctor, you can get through anything. And Christopher Eccleston was wonderful. I loved him.
He's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, I loved him. I had sit through the 6th Doctor. If you can do that, like
a little bitter.
Oh, you need to watch the 6th Doctor.
Who was the 6th Doctor?
Is he the guy with the parsley? Is he the guy with the parsley?
No, that is Peter Davison. That is David Tennant's father-in-law, and that's the guy with the celery. That's fine. Yeah, talk about addiction. What was his name? It was John. I cannot remember his name. Rainbow Coat. He looked like Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor.
Yeah, he's one of the ones for the there's a family of actors. Now, he's one of that dynasty, and I can't remember what the surname is.
He wanted to be dressed like Eccleston. The producer said, no, we're going to put you in the rainbow coat. And they never quite got it right. The producer kept having the fashion department keep doing it. And it got to the point where it was crunch time, and they're just like, screw it, we'll go with a rainbow coat. Let's just throw you in there. But he wanted to go with Eccleston's look. And with a black leather jacket, leather pants, like he wanted all dark.
That would have been way ahead of the times.
Oh, yeah. It was not ready for it. And I'm telling you right now, the actor was phenomenal. The writers botched the show. And this is why it tanked after the 7th Doctor. They wrote the character to be arrogant, egotistical, condescending. Humans were beneath him. They were filth beneath his fate. And he made you realize that, and he reminded you of it every single episode, that we were scum and we should have been worshiping him. This is not the Doctor. But they really played on to how arrogant. Like, he was Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. He spent more time ogling himself in the mirror. It was just disgusting how gross he was.
Well, that's the problem with the Capaldi. That's the problem with Capaldi. You have this great actor and this kind of a guy who can really act well, but then the plot just kept undercutting it. I didn't like Matt Smith at first, but I eventually grew to like him through Amelia Pond, and then we got to Capaldi, and I tried. My husband was gotten into Doctor Who, and he loved Capaldi, and he's like, no, you gotta sit and try and watch the episodes, and I couldn't. I came back enough for that time device thing, and then when they got undercut that next episode, I'm like, oh, I'm out again.
Yep.
So the interesting thing here is in England, you can tell how well they're doing in Doctor Who by how the feeling of kind of hype is, or how the kind of feeling of how much everyone's talking about the episodes. So when it was with David Tennant and then building up, and then with Matt Smith, it was this kind of feeling of, well, did you watch it? Everyone was talking about it. Did you watch it? What's happening next time? This kind of feeling of, I wouldn't call it hysteria per se, but there was a real sense that everybody in the whole country was watching it and waiting on it. Now it's like some people are being critical, but most people, there's just like a silence. Yeah, nobody's asking you, did you watch it, or what's happening?
There is an expectation. Silence. There is an expectation with the show, and there are those who, well, if I don't like the actor, then I'm not going to watch the show. And it's the Doctor. It is the Doctor. You watch the Doctor. It doesn't matter who plays the role. Little baby can come on and drool, and if it's the Doctor's regeneration, it's going to be a long regeneration, but it's the Doctor. And one of my favorite hobbies is watching him and being able to pull apart which Doctor he reminiscence from the others. Like, I'll sit there and watch David Tennant. David Tennant, I'm sorry, was the midlife crisis of the Doctor. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know what.
Especially that hair.
His lips were all over the place. He didn't have a single kiss prior to David Tennant. Zero. Okay, prior to Christopher Eccleston and Rose. That was the first kiss the Doctor ever had in 50
And that wasn't really a kiss, though. He was drawing that.
Yes.
The energy of the TARDIS.
That's how they sold
No,
it to
it wasn't
BBC.
So I was
really.
fine
That's
with that.
exactly how they did that.
I was fine with that. But then David Tennant came around and his lips are all over the place. And I'm like, 50 years you keep your lips to yourself. What is going on with you?
What was it? I just snogged to the Madame de Pompadour.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite lines. I love it.
that
I go, I would
episode.
do the exact same thing.
Entire
Like, I just
episode.
did that.
Like, it is jarring watching from William, and I'm sorry, I look at David Tennant and I still see William Hartnell. Dude, it's just, I love William Hartnell, but I'm just looking at him going, he's my grandpa. I still see Susan going, Grandpa! It's just not the same. And it's really hard to, it's like my
It was-
brother now.
I mean, he was definitely, you know, like a kind of bit of a sex icon.
Yeah,
David
he
Tennant.
really was.
And then he became it as Doctor Who.
And I
so,
love
yeah.
how he regenerates and he just keeps the same face. Because would you change this? It was just,
Yeah.
he really did have a vanity thing going. And David Tennant really suit that, though. Just really. And with Capaldi, he hit the role, and it's really hard. Like, I look at him, and I'm just like, you're not, he's William Hartnell. I can feel that with him. But it's not the same. There is something he's just not hitting. And I think there's been times where I feel Tom Baker in him. But with David, I had zero feeling whatsoever from any of the doctors. He never once portrayed any of them. Whereas Matt Smith, there are days where I could feel all five presence in him. It was just phenomenal capturing of all these characters.
I think what what Matt Smith really brought to the table, and you got to I give full respect to the Gallifrey arc because you needed Eccleston, and then you needed Tennant.
Yeah.
You needed that, and then only after those two could you go to a Matt Smith where you see
yes.
this guy and all he
Yes.
wants to be is a little kid, but he can't let go of the fact that he knows what he's done.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's capable of, and those little moments, like I did a blog, I did a YouTube blog about my favorite Matt Smith episodes.
Which ones?
And
It's like, which ones?
The Rings of Akaton is really high on my list because when he's talking about all that he's seen, you can't help but feel that remorse and that regret.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're
that
curious-
great speech that he has is one of the best pieces of writing.
it is. It's on my phone. I literally, the Rings of, okay, so first of all, there's Matt Smith. Okay. And the Rings of Akaton is the background. That's the speech he gives.
Mhm.
Wow.
Just me.
Yep.
So that's my dedication. There was one particular moment. I can't remember when it was. I blocked it out because it was just a repeat for me. When there was a moment where the Doctor had the ability to destroy all the Daleks.
Mhm.
And I can't ever remember which Doctor that was. If it
That's
was
Tom Baker. He's holding the wires.
No. You're talking about I'm talking about the one they just did with Matt
Oh.
or something. And I the whole episode, it was supposed to be this build-up of, is he going to destroy the Daleks or isn't he? And I'm just like, we know the answer. We saw this with Tom Baker, where he sat there with those two wires going, can I really do this? And he passes up the opportunity.
Again, another great Capaldi episode that was then undercut was the episode where he went back and saw Davos as a kid.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And they saved that reveal for the very end. Oh, by the way, what's your name? Davros.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
I about
that
fell
was-
out my chair when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the other thing that one of my favorite moments in all of Doctor Who was John Pertwee. I think it was John who did it. He wiped out 10,000 Daleks with a tidal wave. It was epic to watch. And I remember just sitting here watching all 10,000 whoosh, and I'm just like, oh, that's why they hate him. Like, it was really like,
See, you're even having sympathy for a Dalek here, which just shows.
Yeah, no, I was right there crying when, that was the episode Dalek, when Christopher Eccleston sees them.
Mhm.
And he wanted to get out, and then he started mocking it, and they were torturing it. And I was right there with Rose going, oh, and it was the I am alone, I am like you. And I did feel sympathy for it. And it felt really, really messed up that I felt sympathy for a Dalek. The one scene that really hit me hard was watching the 50 years watching Gallifrey, watching him constantly argue and run away and being chased by Gallifrey, then being sentenced on Earth, this whole back history. And then, and I watched the movie, and then there was this gap. And I started up with 2005, and within that second episode, Christopher Eccleston, and he explains that his people are lost, that he killed them. I burst into tears. That history, Rassilon, everything about Gallifrey. For 50 years, I had seen it. It was very much a living, breathing people. And I'm still going to say it. Whatever happened to Leela? Where is, I can't remember her name. I can't remember the Time Lord's name. And it's just, I can't remember it right now. Fred. She was going to be called Fred, and Tom's like, no, I'm calling you this, and I can't remember her name. But there's like two companions, one of them being a Time Lord that they haven't revisited. She is out there somewhere. Leela was left on Gallifrey with K9, the original K9. And they
also have Ginny, who's out there.
Yeah, and it's just where are these? Romana, that's it. Romana, I am dying to know where she is, what she's up to. And that is a character that, like the Master, can very easily come back.
Well, I think I don't think Doctor Who does what it does if the Doctor Dances doesn't air. Mm-hmm. The Doctor Dances is what really locked everything in. And I remember, like, I'd seen a few Tom Baker episodes, and I saw the 1980s one. With the Eighth Doctor, depending upon how you count.
Yeah, Paul
the film.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that, and I'm not as bright as I pretend to be, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And so I went back and watched, and then I saw dialect, and I thought, he did what? He did, and so that was just so beautifully set up, but that moment where he goes, everybody lives. You can't help but feel that remorse, and so watching it take shape and seeing kind of how it's evolved from there. But I think that episode is what got everybody talking about it again.
Yeah, it really. I wish I had known about Doctor Who prior to 2005. First time I heard about it was in the Van Gogh episodes.
Oh, yeah.
That is when it hit such a massive chord with my brother that he said, you need to watch Doctor Who. And I said, who? And
exactly.
It was the Van Gogh series that he brought it to me. And to me, there was nothing prior to that. And again, that's where I wish I could be in England feeling that energy. I wish I could have had it on my television years following up to that. And it's